Hey everybody, this is Christopher Kelly, Managing Producer of Entertainment for NJ.com, joined once again by our food dude, Pete Genovese, to talk about his ongoing quest to find New Jersey's best bar. Pete, before we start this week, we have you sequestered, holed up.
Yes, this is the secret location. My hotel, the maid has been in, as you can see. The bed has been made. I'm by myself. Everything, cup of coffee in hand, which I need after last night. This is, yeah, I wish I was 20 years older is what I'm wishing right now.
Well, the reason I bring this up, lest anyone think we are not taking this process seriously, you are in a hotel where each day you are picked up by a designated driver.
The photographer, Saeed, yes.
Your photographer slash designated driver who takes you to each of the bars so that you can judge this thing fairly. Tell us how the judging's going.
It's going. It's anyone. If I get one more email or Facebook post or online comment that says I want your job, I'm going to say take this job because this is hard work, folks. This is, I mean, I'm not just going to bars drinking, clearly, even though I can't because I have a designated driver. We're interviewing the owner. We're putting out tweeting out a ton of stuff, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, Tumblr, interviewing, shooting short, quick videos, pictures on my own. So, it's work, and you really, and we're spending at least an hour, hour and a half in each bars, sometimes a little longer than others. And Saeed gives me like the cutoff signal, like let's get out of here. Time to go. Time to go. You're having too much fun here. We got to go. So I'm glad he's been my human alarm clock to go on to the next place.
How have you been greeted? I assume with great enthusiasm and open arms. Talk about that.
Yeah, every bar. I mean, I was struck, as I said. Saturday we did South Jersey all day, and South Jersey, of course, they think they're always being ignored, but we are going to bars all over the state, and definitely in South Jersey. All the bars that day were waiting for us. The owners were there. Because we're not telling bars, they just know what day. They don't know what time. And the owners at all the places were waiting patiently, And the owner and the patrons, they knew what this was all about. We didn't even have to tell them, oh, yeah, we've been voting. We voted all last week. One bar, the Alibi Room in Waterford, had my name up in lights, literally, on their message board. But last night was probably the ultimate. We stopped at the Verve in Somerville. It's like a cocktail lounge, a really cool place. And they did this. Made T-shirts.
That is just fantastic.
Handed them out, because I had to sign quite a few of them. They handed them out to all the people that showed up, and they were waiting for me. And so, yeah, that's pretty funny. And they have the proper hashtags on the back.
Awesome. That is just fantastic. And
on the way out, they chanted my name, Pete, Pete, Pete. And I told the owner to please make them shut up. Just chanting for like 30 seconds.
Now, Pete, have you been offered any bribes? Have you been offered any sort of under-the-table kind of, back scratch? You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours?
No. This works like any other food. Munchmobile, all the other food, NJ's Best Food. Showdowns we've done. You can't take free anything, and I insist because we ate a lot of, at some points the owners were bringing out food. You must try this. I said, okay, that's fine. Now we want to know if that's something special that you showcase on the menu, but we have to pay for it, and they understand. So this really works. I mean, it's beer, not food, but this and wine and cocktails, but it works like anything else. We have to pay for everything as much as possible, because that's the only way to fair way to do it, the honest way to do it.
Any great surprises? Any bar that particularly? No, we're not playing favorites just yet. You're taking your notes, but anything that kind of got you excited during the first few days of judging?
I mean, it's really, well, the first thought is it's really going to be tough to pick 10. I'm not sure. We visited 13, 15 bars. I'm not sure I can pick 10, right now. And we still have 45 to go. But I mean, one of my we stopped yesterday, the day before yesterday. The days are starting to blur. Is this day 4, day 5? I think today's day 5, whatever. But we stopped at a bar, the Park Tavern in Jersey City, which was, we were there in the Munchville a couple years ago, but it's just a great. I mean, my line was, it's the place you want to hunker down in a blizzard.
Sure.
Because it was you go to some of these bars, the music's blaring and it's noisy, but this place is so, Van Morrison in the corner in the Park Tavern in Jersey City, Van Morrison, other sort of Irish folk music playing sort of soothingly in the background, and there's only a few people. It's dark. You have to like bring a flashlight to see your drink. It's really, it's just a really good. And the food's really good. Really good burgers, corned beef. The soup, the chicken rice soup. Actually, I saved some and I brought it back to my hotel. I ate it like at midnight that night. It was still good. So that was one. But I said we've had Verve last night. The cocktail lounge in Somerville was just really cool place. I mean, and we're going to have a really cool, great video tomorrow on just how to make some of the signature cocktails. So that you got to watch for that.
So you just also put up a post today about whiskey, and whiskey particularly at the Stewed Cow in Hoboken.
Oh my God! Oh my! Don't remind me of that night. Yikes!
You're a whiskey guy, and this is sort of whiskey nirvana, right?
They have a mere 107 whiskey, American whiskeys. It's all American, nothing from anywhere else, Canada or anywhere else. Heavy emphasis on bourbon. Here's that's pretty much the list right there. I did not try all 107, but the next day it sort of felt that way. But we tried, and actually got a lot of comments. We tried this, probably the most, or I guess probably the most expensive, rare, and certainly most expensive bourbon out there, Pappy Van Winkle, 15-year reserve. It goes, I won't tell you what it goes for. It's shockingly expensive, but we tried some of that, and it was so good. I'm still dreaming about it. It was just really, yeah. So again, check the video. Saeed shot a video of one of the bartenders, and they know there's stuff there. It isn't just, you think Hoboken is just a sort of hip, cash, stylish sort of thing, but they really know their stuff. They went to Vegas for like a special week-long whiskey seminar, and so in the video you can see he's explaining each one what you should expect and what's the difference between this one and that one. So yeah, check the video out today.
Sure. So Pete, 10, 15 bars into this, interested, any sort of, judging observations in terms of, the nuances of this? What distinguishes just a good bar from the one that really can take it to that next level and be a great bar?
Yeah, I mean, I've asked people asked me last night, how are you judging? Well, actually, I've asked pretty much at every bar, how are you judging this? Well, again, it's not a score sheet. I'm not checking off 1 to 10 or anything like that. It's, again, I think we mentioned this at the chat last week's chat. It's like food. When it's good, when it's bad, when it's sort of okay and really, really good and superb, wonderful, and it's a lot of this is intangibles. The atmosphere, the general vibe, the feel. The scent when you talk to, because I'm talking to patrons at every place. What makes this place? And I'm asking the same question basically. You're starting with the same question. What makes it special? There are bars all over the world like this. Why is this different? So I'm using some of that we use some of that in the judging. Just how passionate people are about their bar and what they say about it, and just picking up. Again, service, cleanliness comes into it. If it's a craft beer bar, just what kind of a selection they had. I've been 1 or 2 places I've been a little disappointed in their selection. These places that say they have this great craft beer selection, I'm like, okay, I can get that in my bar down the road from my house. That's nothing special. So it's things like that. And again, we're hitting a wine bar today in Totowa, and we'll see what kind of wine selection we have. Verve last night, great. The cocktails really, the bartenders were really cool. So that plays a part too. How good the bartender, how good's the service. This really cool. Brian at Verve last night was he's going to be in the video, so you should check that out. So something like that would push you, ahead of the pack. Sure. All those little factors adding up.
Sure. So without tipping your hand, do you think you've been to a bar so far that has the potential to be in your top 5, your top 3?
I would say in the top 10, yeah, because we're picking 10. Fortunately, I don't have to pick 3. I would say 2 right now are pretty good. If I had to handicap them, they're looking like 3 to 1 right now. If you're at horse odds, those are decent odds. You're not 2 to 1 because you're going to be like a real solid favorite. I would say 3 to 1 right now. As in a week or so, maybe their odds will improve. But I think 2 bars right now are definitely ahead of the pack.
Okay,
and,
we're going to keep
like a good shot at making the top 10.
We're going to keep the lid on what those bars are.
I'm not giving anything away.
Pete, what happens next? So tonight's day 5, and how long is this going? How many days of judging will there be?
15. It looks like 17 days. Hopefully we don't get blizzards or or pseudo blizzards, but we should wrap it up all next week, all the week after, and then a few days the following week. We're going to try to get it's really hard. I mean, we're finding, like I said, I thought 3 bars a day, and that's really pushing. Again, we don't just want to pop in and hang out for half an hour. It's just not fair, and you don't really get a sense of the bar. You don't get a chance to talk to people, and Saeed can't take enough photos, and if there's food, you have to wait for the food. So yeah, it's 3 solid weeks and a couple days, and yeah, again, I wish I was 20 years younger, because this is
Pete,
day 5. I need help.
Last question. This is sort of a philosophical question. Do you think a bar is, and it's really the draw, because you kind of put together the schedule. Just it wasn't like you said, oh, I want to visit this bar first. You looked at the geographic patterns, and,
Sure.
and there was sort of a random, assemblage of your itinerary. Do you think a bar has a better shot of going the distance if you visit them early and they stand out, or later, or does it matter?
No, I don't think so. I think somebody raised that point online. If you're drinking at the first 2 plazas, how can you be fair at the last plaza? So I'm not drinking. I'm just seriously. Anybody who Saeed can tell you, I'm just a third of a beer or less than a third of a beer at each place. Doesn't really add up to much. But no, yeah, because we're not doing 10 bars a day.
Sure.
If we're doing that 8 or 9 bars, maybe the last couple bars would it becomes really a blur, literally or otherwise. But no, since we're only doing 3 and then 4 on a Saturday, I think each one, again, everybody gets about the same amount of time, and sometimes I think being last might help. Because you can sort of compare whatever came before, and if that bar really stands out, I'm like, that's really better than those 3. So I don't think it really matters, because we're only doing a small amount each night out.
Sure. Well, Pete, this has been great fun to follow, and we all look forward to continuing to follow it in the weeks ahead. You and I will be back here next Thursday to hear about the next set of bars that you'll be visiting, and just keep following NJ.com, Jersey's Best, for all of Pete's updates. Pete, happy drinking.
I'll get around to that soon enough. It's 2 o'clock somewhere.
Exactly.
It will be 2 o'clock.
Take care, Pete. Bye.
All right.